Hey, this is Ryan with One Board Family. At the cornerstone of gaming has been a component that, while it does bring in an area of luck, it's something that we can't ignore: dice. These little six-sided cubes have been around for thousands of years and is kind of a cornerstone of gaming. And we can't ignore that, yes, while they do bring a factor of luck into the game, there's still a lot of fun. Throwing a handful of dice and chucking them on the table is just, it's great. All the way from games like King of Tokyo to the game that we're talking about today, Sagrada. In the game of Sagrada, up to 4 players take on the role of stained glass window makers. Each player will get a player board just like this. It's made of some amazing cardboard. The thing holds up really well. And it's got these squares that are going to be filled in with these multicolored dice. So let's check out some of the game mechanics and I'll show you how to play. In the beginning, everyone is given one of 4 player boards. You've got this bluish purple color, you've got green, you've got red, and you've got this other purplish color. Players then get the opportunity to choose their configuration for their stained glass window. You'll notice that at the bottom of the card you've got some dots. These dots correspond with how many helpers each player gets. These helpers we'll learn about in just a minute, but they go all the way from 3 to 6, and basically it's a difficulty level. This would be a simpler one, primarily because you have so many open spaces that would be for wilds. And then you've got these other spaces that require you to roll a 6, require you to roll a 3, or place a blue dice. These are public objective cards. With over a dozen public objectives in the box, each game feels slightly different. In this one, medium shades, which are 3s and 4s, each set of those is worth 2 points at the end of the game. You'll see things that refer to columns or rows. For each column that doesn't duplicate a color, you'll get 5 victory points at the end of the game. Along with 3 public objectives, you're given 3 tool cards at random in the middle of the table that are open to all players to use. Your favor tokens that you get at the beginning of the game, according to the little section at the bottom of your card, this person would be getting 5 favor tokens because of the dots. Players spend favor tokens to get things like the glazing hammer. The glazing hammer allows a player to re-roll all dice in the draft pool. When you're in a bind and you can't lay down the exact thing that you need, these tools really come in handy. Each player will be given a private card that will have a certain die color on the card. This is to remain secret for the entire game. Players then use that die color, counting up the pips on that color die. For this red one, that would equal 3 points for the player who has the red card. The player will count up all the pips on the red dice on their board and score that many points at the end of the game. Favor tokens are clear tokens given to each player. When the player wants to use a certain tool, the player then puts 1 favor token on the tool that they're using. They play the effect, and then the next player who wants to use it has to place 2 on that favor token. If another player wants to use that same tool, they will have to pay 3. So you want to use tools sooner than later. With each player's board ready to go with their stained glass window in place, one player rolls dice for the whole table. Out of those dice, players are going to choose 1 die at a time to fill their board. Starting with the outside edge, players place their dice, going around the table and then coming back around in descending order. The game gets difficult because certain areas are going to be requiring certain numbers or certain colors. So if I'm placing a 5 in this location that requires a 5, I'm not going to be able to place a 5 in this location or this location, even though they're wilds. 5s cannot be next to 5s, greens cannot be next to greens, so this dice placement wouldn't work. But I could place a 6 in this location that requires a 6. When you mess up and you make a mistake, that can really set you back. Placing a 2 in this location would not allow me to place a 2 in that location that requires it. At the end of the game, your whole board will be filled up, but you'll have that one empty space that will deduct 1 point from the end of the game. Our family loves the game of Sagrada for a lot of reasons. Not only is everyone at the table chucking this bag full of dice on the table, but also during the course of those 10 rounds, your board starts to feel like a puzzle. As you fill in the numbers and the colors on your stained glass window, you begin to realize that you only have so many things that you can do. And those dice really, really matter. What I personally have loved about the game is just how every game is different. When you get these goal cards and they give you different points for different types of like color variety and let's see, column color variety and medium shades. As you get these different goals and each goal has a little bit of a different feel, every game becomes different. Then people are given different workers. There are only 3 of these out on the table at any time. The grinding stone here allows you to flip from one side to the other of the 6-sided dice. The game feels so good playing it back to back or playing it multiple times during the course of the week, and that's why Sagrada hits the table so often in our family, because every game is slightly different and no 2 games are the same because of these variable cards. We really love Sagrada, and Floodgate Games has done a fantastic job. We love the components, and it's easy enough for a new gamer to play, or somebody who maybe doesn't really get into games. There's a little bit of math behind it. There's a little bit of understanding where to place things. So that's probably about the only learning curve, I would say. But other than that, this is a beautiful game to hit the table. If you've got a group of 2, 3, 4 players, this is a great game to pick up. It's something that you're going to play a lot of because of the variable conditions that the cards give you. Sagrada has been a huge addition to our family game shelf, and we suggest that this is a game that you should definitely check out. Thanks for checking us out. Be sure to visit us at oneboardfamily.com. Follow us on Instagram and check us out on Facebook. Thanks.